people seem to enjoy and seem to play. So I'm in the wrong on that one. So we're live right now. So I guess what we can do is we can play a song. So everybody gathers, everybody comes in, they all sit around the table. We'll get everyone here with us, and then we will be back. And when we're back, I guess we'll just start. I guess that's what we'll do. We'll start it up, old school.
The Metro card, you got the Porsche. I got plaque in my wallet, you like the floors. I cop 2 Coronas and you buy out the bar. I represent hip-hop, who's the real star? You got Ghost Riders and I spit from the cranium. You say you got guns since 12, I've been aiming them. Before you were platinum, you wasn't getting no ass. Now you're so loud, homie, now you're giving the mass. It's like I'm giving a mass. The way I preach to the choir from the depths of hell, I spit nothing but fire. It's the code of the streets, it's the passion in my heart. It's the pain and poverty that makes me rip tracks apart. I'm the truth. When I step in the booth, when I'm ripping the crowd, I'm taking over the industry, I'm airing them out. Nothing to lose, took my hat and my shoes. From a sinner to a winner, now I just can't lose.
No cash ain't gonna help you if you ain't quick on the trigger. Your name is big, but my pull is bigger. I go hard. I go hard. When the chips are down, you won't see me coming. By the time you turn around, your whole crew is running. I go hard. I go hard.
America's at war, hip-hop is full of whores. They wouldn't let me in, so I kicked down the door. I ain't waving the 4-4, waving the black flag with a black mask, with a black bag full of blackjacks. Ice grilling the game like, where's my cash at? Fuck these fake-ass battles, tones is past that. The essence of hip-hop, this ain't no flashback, I'm the future. Forever funky like an ass crack. Oh, my voice is power and my word is law. My presence alone deserves a throne. Didn't want to be king, I just want to do my thing. Find a queen, give her a ring and be seen. Put a little paper aside for my sons. Take a little vacay, chill under the sun. Show love to other artists who stay on their grind and have my lyrics remembered till the end of time.
No cash ain't gonna help you if you ain't quick on the trigger. Your name is big, but my pull is bigger. I go hard. I go hard. When the chips are down, you won't see me coming. By the time you turn around, your whole crew is running. I go hard. 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 I go hard.
Raspy, bro.
So raspy.
I go hard. I go hard.
Ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, welcome to Vleeties. My name is Ryan Van Vliet, and if you can tell, the voice is once again leaving me. Sick as a dog, my friends. And in these COVID times, it's always like when you're regular sick, you kind of are afraid or ashamed to tell people you're sick. Like, you don't want everyone to assume that you have coronavirus, but you can still get a cold. You know, you can still have a sore throat. You can still just be talking, and all of a sudden your voice starts to crack because you don't know why you're this sick and you don't know why you get sick this often. It also now offends me when people ask me, how come you're sick all the time? If I fucking knew, I would not be sick all the time. Don't people understand this? Zach, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm good, man. You thinking about going back to being vegan?
You know what? Those thoughts do creep into my head. And then when I'm in a pinch like tonight, I worked today. So I worked like from 9 to like 6. I got my son and I was like, we have no food for dinner. So I went to Chick-fil-A. And when you go to Chick-fil-A, it's not like there's a ton of vegan options there. You got to get like the chicken wrap with no chicken and no cheese and just tell them, you know what? If you have avocado, throw it in that wrap for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Like, that's the only real option that I have. But
I feel you, man. I had to go back today. I stepped on the scale yesterday for the first time in months. And you know how much I was running.
Right, I remember.
Dude, I ran 4 half marathons in like a month and a half span during summer. I haven't ran in like 2 months. I've been moving. I've been busy. Went non-vegan. I'm back up to 250. I was down to 215 like 3 months ago.
And so, yeah, and it's just, so you're thinking that it was the meat, because I know for me, and I got Ricardio's in the chat. I haven't seen that in forever. So, yeah, I do know that, like, switching back to meat, I actually feel like I've lost a little weight, because towards the end of my vegan run there,
Nobody cares.
The Steelers are undefeated in the NFL, according to Matty Spice, and he's not wrong on that. Let me sip this water real quick for Ricardio. This is actually Gatorade. This is a G2. Sonic Gino says, I gotta read it here. Thank you, Rascals, for having their last match in Impact tonight. Gross. Nathan says, we don't need to be. There was the sounder for it. He says, we don't need to be vegans again, boys. And then a shout out from Thicks for Life for Philip Rivers, Philly Rib, the Riv Doggy. Hattie Spice says no one cares about Impact. And I don't know why. Do you know what the Rascals are, Zach?
Absolutely no clue.
They are this group of like 3 cruiserweights that are stoners. And that's their gimmick, is like they're all stoners. Now I think they're called the Treehouse. Nathan says that he loves you. So, by the way,
love you too, Nathan.
This is Vleeties, everybody. My name is Ryan Van Vliet. Thank you so much for downloading. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you're watching the stream in the future, if you're on YouTube and you can rewatch it anytime, if you're on Twitch, you can enjoy it for 14 days. But the Rascals,
you gotta get on Rumble, bro.
You know what? I'm not there. I'm not on Rumble yet. I don't know how to really post on there. Like, since he owns it, it seems like he's streaming directly to it, and he's got like the magic stick that makes it work. But for me, as like somebody who's not fully aware of what Rumble even fucking is, like, I don't know how Bongino handles it. But to stick to Impact real quick, the Rascals have been this team. Nathan Weller just need to say fuck Drew McIntyre real quick. He wanted to drop in and say that because that is on my docket. I didn't even watch that match yet. I was like shocked when I read the results right before we started. But I had watched all of Raw except the main event because I was so sure Randy Orton was just going to win or The Fiend was going to attack Drew. I thought there was something in there that was going to be like, okay, obviously it's a nothing match. We're moving to Survivor Series. But this is the second year or the third year, I mean, maybe it was 2 years ago, where there's a last-minute title change going into Survivor Series. Like, we had Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar one Survivor Series, and there was no build to it because it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be AJ versus Brock. And then, nope, last minute, we're going to switch it. We're going to have Daniel Bryan be the champion, and he's going to fight Brock. Impact is dog shit, damn it. Is that how Vince sounds when he has a cold? That must be how he sounds. So yeah, Drew wins that title back. I don't understand what we're doing here. Why did Sheamus give him a sword? That's the other part of this that isn't making a ton of sense. I'd rather let a dog shit in my living room than watch Impact, damn it. That was from Nathan Weller. Now.
That wasn't by choice, Nathan.
I wonder why people don't like Impact as much as I do. I don't like the Rascals, and I love Deonna Purrazzo. I don't know why people are hating on her, but I don't watch Impact every week. I probably haven't watched it in like 8 weeks. So it's not like I can say that I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I can't claim to be a fan if I haven't watched the product in fucking months.
I think that's probably the standard. You can miss one here and there, but you're months out, man. I'm that way with WWE right now. I gotta get caught up.
Well,
I watched Hell in the Cell. I liked it, but
and then Nathan says that I need a COVID test. No COVID test is needed. There's another story in the Red faction that completely negates anyone needing a COVID test. It also shows that I think the COVID numbers are even more bullshit. Ultimate Warrior.
Elon Musk.
Fuck Deanna Parazzo. That's hard to do when you have a sore throat. I like Deanna Parazzo. I know that she doesn't have this amazing body like every woman is supposed to have, but her body is perfect, okay? She is great. So I enjoy that. But either way, I'm looking over here at Zelina Vega. What is happening? So she gets fired. Now, you were a fan of wrestling like starting this year. I brought you back into the fold. Zelina is somebody who's been on Raw like prominently. Like, remember like after WrestleMania, it was like her, Austin Theory, Angel Garza, and Andrade. Like it was always, they were always involved in something. They were wrestling multiple times throughout the night. The chick from The Bachelor was there, Demi Burnett. Not sure what her relevance is. I'm waiting for her to make a comeback. But she gets fired. Now, allegedly, the big reason for this was the OnlyFans account. Now, if I could be a man, if we could inject a little toxic masculinity into Vleeties immediately in the beginning here tonight, do you think, now this is me being a wrestling fan my entire life, do you think Thea Trinidad is worthy of a $30 a month OnlyFans subscription if she wasn't a WWE superstar? Like, does that make sense? Like, she's very attractive. She's a hot chick. We can all agree on that. But the fact that she's also on TV every week as a WWE superstar is the main reason men are willing to pay that much money. Am I right?
Yeah, 5,000%. There's a million hot chicks out there with all their own streaming services, and they got a few thousand followers. But did I see a headline? She's making more money from Twitch than she was on WWE.
But again, and I think this goes into the argument that Vince is giving, or that WWE is giving. These women, all these people, are where they're at on Twitch. They're where they're at on OnlyFans because they're WWE talent. They're WWE superstars. And at first, I was on the opposite side. I was on the side of, dude, let her do her own thing. She's allowed to have an OnlyFans. She's allowed to have a Twitch. She's allowed to do these other things. But Kevin's right. Like, if AJ Styles is on Twitch one night and drops the N-word like Randy Orton, suddenly it's going to look bad on WWE. It's not necessarily going to be, oh, we got to cancel AJ's Twitch. It's, the headline's going to read, WWE superstar did this. So, and also, they're only able to get all of these Twitch subscribers and all this attention to their Twitch channel based on their profession. They're WWE superstars. We see them on TV. We see, you see their shirts in public. They have that huge platform that's assisting them on these other platforms. So for Zelina Vega to start an OnlyFans account, and as a man, I'll say this as a man, and then BFN highlight a message in the chat. It does say that she's getting a shit ton of money, though. Let's say she has 500 subscribers to this OnlyFans account, $30 a month. That's $15,000 per month. She's getting the bag, bro. So,
well, come on, broken freaking neck. She's not getting 100% of the subscription.
I mean, she's getting a lot of fucking money, though. Nathan Weller says, I just blocked Sonic Gino. He needs to get his COVID away from me. Sonic Gino says, Rosita is why she is where she's at today. Not because of her being Zelina Vega, long live Mexican America and TNA. No, I do remember her being Rosita, and I even loved her when she was Rosita. But if Rosita opened up a Twitch account, there's no way anybody gives a fuck. Zelina Vega is I feel like that's a name, that's a star, and as a man who has testosterone levels, Zelina Vega having an OnlyFans account is like something that I have a feeling a lot of guys who aren't married, who have flexible money for this kind of shit, are willing to throw out there to be, oh, can you cosplay as Yaya Rosa from My Hero Academia? Can you cosplay as whatever the other hot chick from My Hero Academia? Like, all of this stuff is her she's using her likeness as a WWE superstar to make $30 a month to wear costumes because she knows that men who like wrestling will pay her to do so. And Nathan Weller gives 25 bits, and he says, we know why Tyler didn't stream today. He's been on Zelina Vega's OnlyFans all day. And come on, we're all like that. Like, as far as wrestling fans go, and you're like, the reason WWE had a female superstar in Playboy every year is because it was the hottest selling Playboy every year. And Playboy was like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do Sable, we'll do Tori, we'll do Maria, we'll do Christy Hemme, like, we'll do Ashley Massaro. Any WWE superstar they put out there.
China.
Yeah, even China. Like, Mount Lady. There we go. Anyone who wants to be Mount Lady from My Hero Academia, like, we'll pay to see that. Oh, Nathan Weller in the chat. Also, he redeemed a Vince McMahon impression. Fuck Jordan Grace, damn it. He even spelled Jordan Grace wrong. And Jordan Grace is the worst. Now, I know that Sonic Gino is my only Impact Wrestling person in the chat, but she is awful. And I think she has an OnlyFans, I think, too. Nathan says that Christy Hemme is underrated. Even as she aged, she looked good. Like, even ring announcer Christy Hemme in TNA is pretty hot. I can't go wrong. But, Jordan Grace also has, like, an OnlyFans account, too. And, like, her thing is, she has a Patreon. And, like, on her Patreon, she has it listed, like, you get exclusive photos, you get exclusive videos and stuff. And then, of course, in the description, it's like, no nudes. And it's like, you know that the only reason these horny wrestling fans want to follow you or want to pay you extra money to follow your Patreon is because they're one day expecting nudes or hoping for nudes. And
if you're looking for a fella to fight him, I'll fight him.
Thank you, Thix. And that's true as well. We will fight him. And yeah, like, to me, that's all of this is... It's because of who they are on television. Like Jordan Grace, maybe to a lesser extent because she's on Impact. It's not really like as big as WWE, but she's still only Jordan Grace because, I mean, her real name's Patricia something. So the horny wrestling fans want to see the chick from Impact Wrestling in scantily clad photos. So when Zelina's being fired over something like that, and what if she does post nude photos? Now suddenly... Broken freaking neck just cheered 25 bits, and he says, on AEW Dark tonight, Britt Baker debuted her own talk show segment called The Waiting Room. She made a joke about Trump not accepting his defeat, and the Hybrid 2 were the guest. That sounds so fucking terrible, and I'm glad I don't watch AEW Dark. But yeah, it's... And then, yeah, Thanks for Life in the chat is correct. We're all just horny. We're all horny wrestling fans. And whenever these like, that's what I mean, though. Remember Triple H when he talked about China not being in the Hall of Fame? It's, you hear about, oh, this is a wrestler that I like. I'm gonna Google her. Let's Google her real quick and see what comes up. And then you find an OnlyFans, and now suddenly kids are paying $30 a month to look at some naked Thea Trinidad. We also got. Go ahead.
See that? So, like, Twitch. Dude, let them have a Twitch. They can promote, put it in their contract. Put it in, but specifically call them out. Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you're representing WWE. You can use your name. You make the money, but you're responsible for anything that happens on there. But in OnlyFans, that's I don't even know what OnlyFans is other than it's like a subscription, but is it porn? Is it X-rated?
So from what I have seen on the outside is, I mean, that's what it seems like. It seems like it's Instagram, but you have to verify your age and pay money for it, which sounds like pornography, or at least if you're a sucker to pay for photos like that, then yeah, like that would be what you have to do. Going through here real quick, Sonic Gino cheered 25. He said Jordan Grace is going to have a mystery partner next week in the Knockouts Tag Team title tournament, so it could be anyone. I thought she already had a partner for that, so I haven't been watching, of course, but I thought that was already resolved. But and then Nathan Weller says Broken Freaking Neck beats his meat to the hentai bot in Tyler's Discord. So yeah, the hentai bot is definitely running wild, but we'll see who was Madison Rain already in the tournament. Did they do a Beautiful People kind of reunion for this tournament. No more. We can't talk about Impact. We need to go and watch it and see what happens. MJF saying his lovely poem last week should be a sounder. I'm going to have to rewatch. I didn't watch Dynamite last week. Now, I've heard about Dynamite. I heard Cody Rhodes was interrupted by some chick, and this chick's talking about Shaquille O'Neal. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on like celebrities pretending to come in and be wrestlers for one night? Like, just as somebody who's like kind of new to watch. I mean, you've watched wrestling in the past, but like, think about that right now. Like Cody Rhodes, a top star in AEW, is going to have a match with a non-wrestler.
I mean, it worked. I don't know. Like, he's actually going to wrestle, though.
Yeah, well, that's...
Well, I mean, dude, Floyd Mayweather fought Big Show.
And that's true. Like, Floyd Mayweather did the still silly gimmick match.
He's an athlete, though. I mean, Mike Tyson was there, but he didn't wrestle, right?
No, he never ended up wrestling. He was supposed to wrestle this year. Matty Spice
Did Rodman wrestle?
Rodman did wrestle. Rodman and Karl Malone both wrestled. Broken Freaking Neck said that he was stepping down as mod. Remove it. I will remove it when I have some fucking time, bros. I'm just sleeping, okay? You hear the voice? Do you see the body aches? Feverish.
I see it on your upper lip.
Yeah, that's Vicks.
Distinct sweat.
That's Vicks Vapor Rub, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. I was I'm one of those guys. Jay Leno had a match. Thank you, Nathan Weller. Yeah. The Vicks Vapor Rub is like, I immediately just started rubbing it like right below the nose. I remember when I was a kid, like I used to put it on like my chest and stuff. And as I've gotten older, I put it right below my nose and then even a little bit in my nose. Like I just kind of rub it in there. So that way I'm for sure smelling it as much as I can. Sonic Gino says, yes, watch Impact. Oh! What? Thank you so much. Let's do it! Boom! All right, Fire Fist Ace, thank you so much for subscribing. Sonic Gino was gifted a sub by Quigley. This is a big night. That's too bad my voice is like this. I'm falling apart. But when it comes to non-wrestlers competing, here's the issue with it. Like WWE has their method is if we're bringing in a guest, we need to make them look good. Like people are paying money to see, they're paying money to see Jay Leno. They want to watch Jay Leno win a match. It's kind of weird if, I'm a big fan of Shaquille O'Neal. I'm just here to watch him. And then he loses. You're like, what did I do that for? So Cody Rhodes is like their top guy. And Shaq's like, how long has he been out of the NBA? Like a decade? Like it doesn't make sense for him to come in and do a wrestling match and then win the match. Like if anything, I would love to see a 6-man tag with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But the way
I don't even want to watch Dominic Mysterio wrestle, and he can fucking wrestle. So why don't I see Shaq? He's not going to wrestle. He's just going to throw him around the ring. He's so damn big.
And Nathan Weller points it out in the chat. Turn your webcam off. Oh, I know. Zach and I have already talked about that. We like having double me. It's fun.
Inception.
Plus he can see me because he can't see me the other way. But Pat McAfee's match was good. Now Pat McAfee was the exception, like as far as like an athlete coming in and actually having a match. But he's already been involved with NXT, and he was willing to take the big L. He took that loss, and he's still around.
I mean, Gronk in WrestleMania?
He was just like a host. He was just he was in the balcony doing this. He was like dancing a little bit, and then he was.
He didn't get in the ring.
No, he rolled up like somebody to win the 24/7 belt. That bullshit that just kind of pops in and out. Pat McAfee is the greatest punter of all time. I miss him. Thank you, Nathan Weller. It's nice to have.
Now, before we move beyond that sound, have you seen Cobra Kai on Netflix?
I have not watched a single episode.
Holy shit, it's so good.
And I've only watched the first Karate Kid. I never watched any of the sequels.
Same here. That's all you need to know.
It's only about the first one. They ignore everything else that happens in the Karate Kid universe.
Well, I didn't know. Like towards the end of the second season, Ralph Macchio was like, "No, I was in Cobra Kai at one point." I was like, "What?" I guess that's not from the first one, but You don't need to know. It even flashes back every time you need to know anything, dude. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to watch this show because you're not the only person to like say like, no, it's really good. Like when it was,
I binged it straight. It was so good.
it was a YouTube. It was a YouTube, like, what's that thing called? YouTube Red exclusive. Like, you had to subscribe on YouTube to be able to watch it. And some people did say it was worth it. Like, you should watch this show. It's only, I think they were charging a lot for YouTube Red, though. And they wanted people to watch this show. And, oh, thank you, Maddie Spice. Yeah, Zach, your audio was a little choppy there. I was, like, messing with my headphone. Like, is that me? So,
Am I better now? I think I had noise canceling on.
there you go. You sound better now. Yeah,
Okay.
Pretty much for everyone who didn't hear it, he said Cobra Kai is good. Ralph Macchio said he was part of Cobra Kai, which is probably from a different Karate Kid movie, not the first one. But it's not important. You can see the show without watching. And I would like to go back and watch the first movie again because yeah, it has been many years. I probably watched it when I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a fella to
Dude.
fight him, I'll fight him.
Thank you, Nathan Weller. Yeah, Sheamus is huge right now as far as helping Drew McIntyre get the big wins. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Cobra Kai? Is it like
catch
worth
the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you for the host, Nathan Weller. Is it worth dropping everything I'm doing? Like as far as I'm watching Community, I'm watching Lasso for like the 5th time. I gotta watch all this wrestling. Do I just go to Cobra Kai?
Watch wrestling, but I watched Cobra Kai 2 or 3 episodes every night when I went to bed. And I just went straight through it. So there's 2 seasons. They're like 30, 45-minute episodes, so it's not bad. And then in like 2 months, the 3rd season comes out.
Okay, so yeah, this is the build up. And then is the 3rd season gonna go to Netflix or is it gonna go back to YouTube?
It's a Netflix series now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, YouTube must have gave up. They were like, nope, nobody paid for this shit. Is Sheamus a face now? Question mark from Nathan Weller. I don't think Sheamus is a face because still we have, he's still Fireface on the Survivor Series team. So I think they're keeping him a heel, but I think that the sword gift is just going to keep playing into the Drew Sheamus, hey, we're best friends gimmick. And eventually Sheamus is going to get mad at Drew for something, and then that's going to be the next match is Sheamus versus Drew. And I watched wrestling today. I watched like 2 episodes of Raw. And the new thing to do is to say that every single fucking match is a WrestleMania worthy match. Like I don't a WrestleMania main event worthy match. Like that was Drew versus Randy, that was Nia Jax versus Asuka. Like every time we have fucking people wrestle in like a match that's 2 good wrestlers, we have to call it a WrestleMania main event worthy match. Like I don't get it. WrestleMania is one night of the year and it's also like one pay-per-view. Like it used to be, this is a pay-per-view worthy match, or this is you could even just say this is a main event worthy match. But calling it a WrestleMania main event worthy almost degrades it to me a little bit. It makes me feel like, why do I watch the rest of the matches then? If there's only one night of the year, there's only one match of the year that matters. Why are we watching all of these other ones? Like, you should be doing that for all of these things. You should do like this, this is a Survivor Series worthy main event or whatever. Like I just feel like that dubs it like even like Rob Van Dam used to be Mr. Pay-Per-View. They would call him Mr. PPV because all of his matches were worth paying for. And I was like, what a great fucking gimmick. Like my matches are so good, none of them should be free. You're lucky that I'm wrestling for you tonight. But now
That sounds like an AJ Styles gimmick.
It's coming soon. I love that he just found out that his big guy can talk. Like he made a comment in the back where he was like, "You don't even speak English, do you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "What? Why did you ever tell me?" Like it was funny, but it seems like they're already kind of teasing like this guy might be leaving AJ because AJ like never talks to him or wants to know anything about him. He just has him stand behind him. But yeah, I don't know why we did that. And then especially with Drew winning the fucking belt back, it did seem a little weird that they hyped it up as this is a main event like a WrestleMania main event thing. And I gotta watch this match now because, like I said, I didn't watch the last match because I thought it was the most obvious schmoz finish. Randy Orton's still champion. I love wrestling, and now I'm like confused. I'm like, what? Like, should I be watching Impact to keep up with Raw?
Well, I caught the end of it on TWFS last night. And it's like It came out of nowhere too. It just happened. It's like, what are you guys doing?
What was everyone's reaction last night? Because it seems like around the wrestling circle, people are upset about this.
Catch the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you so much for the host. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot more negativity rather than, like, wow, cool, Drew won the belt back on Monday Night Raw. Like usually, like like Raw and SmackDown title changes are like huge, and this one feels like people are mad.
That's how, dude. That's how I feel. It's like, one, why'd you just do it on a Raw? And it's what? We're 2 weeks, 3 weeks from Hell in the Cell.
Well, and why give Randy his 14th WWE championship if he's just gonna lose it on a Monday Night Raw like 3 weeks later? Like, and you look at this whole rivalry that he's had with Drew, and it has been like Drew's just been bitching him out like this whole fucking time. And
but what I don't like is like there's not enough drama there. Like Drew's too much of a good guy, and Randy is the bad guy, but I like him too much. So it's like there's too much good guy going on. We need like the Fiend to come in and just cause some havoc.
Well, and
or Strowman at least come be a dick, throw people through fucking walls, do something.
Well, and like they were teasing, they had the Miz come out and they were teasing like, oh, even if you win tonight, Drew, I'm cashing in. And then Miz got beat up by Bray Wyatt, and it was just like there were so many weird, and even the beginning of the show, Drew McIntyre comes out and like he's dressed in like jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm like, shouldn't you be backstage like getting ready for this shit? Like isn't this the biggest title match of your life? Why are you out here goofing around like with the Thunderdome? Thanksgiving is next week, and I'd like to tell you some things I'm thankful for. Like, it's just like, dude, shouldn't you be back there like taping your wrist or like getting ready for a big
stretching
fight?
out?
Like, imagine at the beginning of like a boxing event, and like Floyd Mayweather comes out to the ring at the beginning of the night and is like, tonight we're gonna have ourselves a fight. It's like, yeah, we know, Floyd. That's
why we're here.
They had been advertising this on SmackDown, which you were on SmackDown to advertise this match. You advertised it last week on Raw. We saw things for it during NXT. Like, yes, clearly you are having a title defense. Like, it makes sense to all this build up. But then why would you come out in the beginning of the show to further explain that you're having a title match tonight, and then for him to win it? And like even Randy appeared on the screen, talked about what he was thankful for, and it was just like, what is this weird opening to this show? Where, if anything, what I like when they do this kind of stuff, what I like is they're advertising this match, have that open the show. Like I remember, and this is the worst fucking example I think anyone will ever give for this, but I remember they did a Monday Night Raw on January 1st, and I believe it was 2007. But it was going to be John Cena versus Kevin Federline. And they were advertising speaking of a celebrity wrestling, we were talking about John Cena versus K-Fed. And I believe it opened the fucking show. Like, it was just the first match. They knew that all of these new fans who don't really watch wrestling but who know who Kevin Federline is, they knew they were going to just tune in to see that one thing, and they did it first. And I think they did it again with John Cena versus Miz for the title. They had that on it was some like first of the year show, and it was just right out of the gate. Have that championship match right as the show starts. And I kind of like that because this is the same reason why Major League Baseball starts their games when they start them. They want to start their games when they have the most viewers on them. So when Raw starts, you have to assume that's when most people are watching this show, is right at the fucking beginning. Everyone's phone goes off and says Monday Night Raw is live on Hulu. They flip over to it immediately, and they're going to watch the show live. So,
you know what, man? I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you, did you watch, is everything you're talking about, is that on Hulu?
It is on Hulu, and apparently the only thing that gets cut from Hulu from this episode, it seems to be the Retribution match, which is weird because that's like all the Survivor Series guys. It's like Team Raw versus Retribution. I don't think that's on Hulu Raw because when I was watching it, I don't remember seeing that, which would be weird if they cut all these major stars from the episode.
I was just thinking I'm an idiot because I just bought Hulu Live.
Yeah.
So now I can watch the whole fucking show.
Yeah, you watch the whole thing live,
Do it.
and your phone goes off. It'll tell you like, "Hey, Monday Night Raw is live right now on Hulu. SmackDown is live on Hulu." BFN says Retribution won. By the way, I read the results on that. I was like, "What?" So yeah, Retribution got a big win over Team Raw right before Survivor Series. So, but yeah, when Raw goes live and everyone clicks on it immediately, you want to have the best thing opening the show, and that's what I thought Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton would be. And yeah, and by the way, the whole fucking show is now exclusive to Hulu. Quigley is saying that TWFS is now on Hulu. We got some hydrates from Nathan Weller, broken freaking neck. We got a bunch. I'm just going to finish this Gatorade. This is a G2.
Just make sure you keep that bottle so you can piss when you're full.
Don't make me laugh. But yeah, that's a very good point.
But yeah, man, dude, I'm loving Hulu Live. I was so upset. My mother-in-law, it was like 2 days before the election. We've been completely cut cable years ago.
Yeah.
Only have non-live stuff. And they moved in with us, and like they were here like 2 weeks, and she like broke down crying. Was like, I don't know what's going on in the world. I can't watch Fox News every day. So I had to buy it, and now I'm glad we have it because it's so fucking great.
No, and I didn't even, and you know, I have live Hulu. I still don't watch live like Fox News. I rely on the news people that I trust. Nathan Weller, Kyler fucking Murray. Did you see the Hail Murray, which I hate, by the way. I hate that immediately every tabloid writer for the NFL was so fucking excited because they all knew they were going to be able to put Hail Murray on the front of all of their web pages. Did you see the Hail Mary?
I saw it. I posted a picture in the Gridiron of him in the air and the four guys around him in the air and him snatching the ball.
So it's such a crazy moment. Probably, like, just as far as Hail Marys that I've seen, it's probably the most impressive and the most likely to happen again. Like, it seems like a lot of times these Hail Marys like that Rodgers was throwing a couple years ago, like, it really is just like a prayer. For some reason, if you tell me it's DeAndre Hopkins versus 3 or 4 guys, I'm like, dude, fucking big.
I was just about to say the opposite, man. Rodgers against the Cowboys that one year was fucking great.
But you just have to, I just think DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, like that combo will do it again. Like, I don't even remember who caught the ones from Rodgers because it's just DeAndre Hopkins is so insane getting up there. It's ridiculous. And then
I literally Googled Aaron Rodgers Cowboys Hail Mary, and the only thing that came up is Andre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, Hail Mary. It's fucking everything is their play.
They did it. I mean, they broke the internet in many ways. And then Nathan Weller says, "How good must Bill O'Brien feel right now?" Yeah, the guy who traded away DeAndre Hopkins. Apparently, there's a live video of him watching, and he's actually fired up, like he's excited for DeAndre Hopkins. And I hate to be this guy, but I guess DeAndre, if you're DeAndre Hopkins and you're on a shitty team, you were probably really gonna fuck over that team. You know, they weren't gonna get anything for him. You know what I mean? Like, there was no way like he was gonna stay for less money. He probably wanted to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL, and he deserved it. So it made sense. So we got a viewer's choice. We're gonna put that on the afterburn. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go through. We got some other things here in the world of sports I want to get to before we go to our first break. Seth Rollins is apparently getting ready to take some time off. So Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are having the baby Messiah, and he is set to be born. Is it he or she? Did they announce? I don't know if we have a gender yet. Or is it going to pick its gender when it's old enough? But Becky Lynch maternity shoot with Seth Rollins. The videos are up, or the one of the photos is up. But Seth is taking time off, so it looks like he lost to Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. And now he's going to lose to Murphy this Friday on SmackDown. And then he's going to be gone for a few weeks, probably returning at the Royal Rumble. 2020 for Seth has been like this weird year of, obviously this Rey Mysterio thing is his entire year. Like, I can't even remember. Like, he had a title match with Drew McIntyre. Like, he was Drew's like first post WrestleMania besides Big Show opponent, which is like, what the fuck? Like, Like Seth had this match. Like I don't even remember it. But and then Nathan Weller has another topic we're about to get into. Thoughts on James Harden possibly joining in the Brooklyn Nets. So I got that written here. But yeah, Zach, what are your thoughts on Seth Rollins this year? Like I bring you back into wrestling, and I think you brought it up. Like you were the first person I saw this. Like, does Seth Rollins only fight Mysterios?
Because that's all I saw, dude. I love Seth. I just do, but I'm so glad to not see him fight a Mysterio or Murphy. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like not every Raw it seems like every show, every pay-per-view, every SmackDown. Yeah, were they on Raw Underground too? Like, where have they not fought?
And as soon as SmackDown, as soon as they did the draft and they showed the Mysterios going to SmackDown, everybody had that same reaction. It's like, oh my god, like you can't be serious. Like we already did this. We paid our penance. We are done with this rivalry. We're done with this feud. Why is it still existing? And then Dakota Poland in the chat brings up a good point that Prego Becky Lynch is roll tide. So if you like, everyone go to her Instagram, because I would have to 100% agree that she's looking pretty roll tide as the pregnant man. She's looking pretty damn good here, but damn, dude, I'm gonna get over this thing because I did go to Florida. I guess I could talk about that too. But speaking of Florida, Kim Ng, how do you pronounce that? When a last name is NG, what is your initial pronunciation of that? Kimming. Like you almost want it to be one name, like Kimming. We have a female general manager for the Miami Marlins. So apparently Kim Ng, who has been on teams such as the New York Yankees and the Dodgers, teams with these big budgets, but they do build incredible lineups. She was part of those teams. She was the assistant general manager. So now Hero Sin says the same thing. This is not sweat. This is Vicks Vapor Rub. And this episode is brought to you by Vicks Vapor Rub. And I'm surprised how well it's showing up on camera. I rubbed it on and looked at it.
Where's
in the
the
mirror.
promo code?
Oh, the promo code. So if you go to VicksVaporRub.com, you enter the promo code Becky Lynch is pregnant at checkout, and then you get 10% off your entire purchase. But you do have to purchase over $100 worth of Vicks. So it's kind of spending a lot, but you save a lot of money, Zach. If you buy $200 worth of Vicks, you save $20. That's not bad.
Who do you know that buys $200 worth of Vicks?
You know what? I have a very, very little container, and I've been using it for like 6 years. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Lasts forever.
But I can't believe everybody is looking at. Everyone's looking at my Vicks stash. I didn't know it was that noticeable. I'm gonna hold the microphone up here now, so nobody
just hide it.
Nobody can see it. Now I got it on the pop filter. Everybody can see my Vicks stash.
Well, now it's gonna be on your microphone too.
See, it's everywhere. Oh, it smells good. It's keeping me wide open.
I do the same thing though. I was gonna tell you. I take peppermint fucking oils. What do they call
Yeah,
those?
the essential oils.
Dude, and I rub it on my mustache.
See, if I had one of those mustache, I shaved today. I was like, I'm a clean shaven guy now. I use a straight razor. I use like the Vanderhagen, like it's just one blade. It's awesome. I don't know why. I don't know why they teach us that you have to have a handle and like 17 blades if you want a good shave. You need one fucking blade and that's it. You don't need a Mach 3. You don't need a Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. You don't need any of this stuff. You need one blade. That's all it takes. Ayako says that she's going to put an actual Vleeties promo code on her album, and you're going to get 5% off. See? That's pretty good. 5% is that's still money being saved. So I'm doing.
And the album's only $2, so you're down to like $1.95 or $1.90.
Yeah, I'm like 10 cents. I'm saving you guys all the money that you'll ever need.
Well, also, by the way, I still have like 8 codes for Ayako's album, so if you want it, just let me know.
And thank you for sending me my code. So everybody, yes, reach out to Zach. He's got the codes, my friend. And then
while supplies last.
While supplies last. So yeah, Kim Ng is the first female general manager in professional baseball. I believe in professional sports as far as the major four. I can't speak to Major League Soccer, but I don't think the general manager, and I could be wrong in saying this, is a male necessitated position. I don't know what word that is. I don't think you need to be a man to assemble players on a roster. Like, I really don't think so. So if there was going to be a female like position to break into, like, because you understand, like, when like there's backlash when women are commentators because they didn't play the game, or when women are coaches because they didn't play the game. I don't think a general manager needs to have played the game to know, to look at statistics, look at numbers, and to throw a winning team together on the field. And especially for baseball, like in Miami, they need some fucking help, and they need to get it where they can take it. So I think this is a good signing. I would like to see Miami turn it around. This is the team that got rid of Christian Yelich, the team that got rid of Giancarlo Stanton. So we'll see what happens. And then Nathan Weller says right here in the chat for 10 bits, he says, shave that head again. If I want to stay married, I got to keep this due. Got to keep it going.
She didn't like it?
She hated the bald head. She like I look just like my father. I think that's what it was. She just thought
Hey, Marlene!
I aged so fast when all the hair was gone. She just thought I was 50 and like this was my life now. Like I was going to be a bald person. I loved it. I was like, bald hair was easier. And when it grew, like I've gotten one haircut in the past 3 months because I shaved my head. It was like, it was a money saving venture for me. But yeah, I'm not allowed to shave it ever again, I guess. But James Harden is going to be traded from the Rockets. And the potential landing spots that, at least that I see so far, the main one is Brooklyn, which would mean that him and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are all going to be on the same team. How are they going to make that happen? There is no way they're going to make that happen. Like, I can see Kevin Durant and James Harden getting back together. I cannot see Kyrie Irving stepping aside to let James Harden come in and hold the ball the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely not. I hate that idea. They're going to play with 2 balls? Maybe that's the option. They're changing the rules this year.
Yeah, like that's what they need, is they need to have an extra ball so that way they can both bring the ball up the court. Like I can see if you were telling me that Westbrook was the one going to Brooklyn, I would be a little more like, yeah, I can see that. He could play third fiddle to Kyrie and KD. I think that would be fine. I cannot see James Harden, who always has the ball, who's bringing the ball up court all the time. There's no way he's going to like let Kyrie be that position and let that offense work. So other potential landing spots, like I see Tyler brings up Philly. I don't think James Harden's going to work in Philly either. That team's too young. They don't need like this old guard to come in and like kind of, okay, here's how I've been doing it these years. It's like, dude, like Harden still
How many championships have you won? How about that?
Right, he hasn't won any. So if anything, maybe he should super team it up. Maybe he should go find a place where, you know, he's got all of these other big guys around him.
Should go to the Lakers.
He should go to the Spurs, right? That's where I went.
Ooh.
That's where I went in 2K20 after I got fucking kicked out of Boston because I wanted too much money. Nobody told me how to do that. Like they were like, okay, because the game is stupid in this regard, where it has it says that they're going to offer you a max contract, but then if you want virtual coin, you can't ask for more. Like I wanted like a ×2 bonus, and they were like, we can't give you that much money. We're insulted. We're pulling back our offer. And I was like, whoa. Well, I was like, whoa. Never mind.
Whoa. Okay, let's go back.
Because I wanted to, like, it was going to be a max contract and this. And yeah, Nathan Weller, I just wanted a max contract. That's all I wanted. I got my max, like, because your max contract doesn't mean shit in 2K because I need virtual coins to buy shit. So why do I care if I'm making $35 million a year when I can't buy shit in the fucking game? So I can't buy shirts in the game because I'm making 1,000 virtual coins every game. I need to make 2,000 virtual coins every game. And this isn't ridiculous. This is all true shit. So we'll see where James Harden goes. I think he needs to go somewhere where there's a bunch of tall guys, because he always plays small ball, and small ball just doesn't fucking work. Like, I mean, it did when the Warriors did it, but even their version of small ball had, you know, Klay Thomas is still 6'7", DeAndre Green, or whatever his name is. He's 6'7". All these guys are still tall, but small ball just isn't going to work.
They're also the greatest fucking shooters of all time. So
that's true. Well, and
James Harden's. I hate James Harden. He's great. I mean, he would probably dominate anybody one-on-one, but I mean, not on defense, but on offense.
Well, and this is,
But
and this is,
God, I hate that guy.
it's a team game, and you got to be on the best team. So even if you are James Harden, this incredible shooter and good handler, like it just doesn't make sense for him to just be. He's a one-man show, and that's why the Rockets have been since he's been in Houston. That's just what that team has been. It's been James Harden versus whoever, and he can win all the MVPs that he wants. He has not won a championship because he hasn't been on a team that's good enough to win a championship. So, well, and I don't think him pairing with another small guy is what he needs. I think he needs a Shaq. I think he needs somebody big in the middle. So when he's throwing balls up from who knows where, somebody's there to rebound it and actually put it in the hoop. Because this is why I talk about Shaq being the best player of all time. The object of the game is to put this ball inside this hoop. I don't care if you can put it out. If you can put it in the hoop from 90 feet away, I don't fucking care. There's nothing more effective than being this close and just kind of putting it in. Like you're just being right there and putting it in. And yeah, Joel Embiid, the process, he's good at that game. LaMarcus Aldridge, he can make that shit work. Just get a big man in there. Get a big clumsy fuck. Bring back Yao Ming. Bring back these guys who like can barely move, and they just.
Who's your favorite player right now?
Luka Doncic. Mr. Throw it up from half court himself.
I said favorite.
Yeah.
I'm down. I like Luka.
So I moved to Texas a few years ago, and I've always been a Laker fan. Like I've always kind of had like that spot. Like I'm from LA. Like I'm supposed to like the Lakers, so I like the Lakers. They win all these championships. It's fun to be a Laker fan. And then since moving out here, you kind of get to watch this team suck, but they're like rebuilding, and you they're rebuilding, and you're learning the players as the team is getting stronger. I was there one night when Dennis Smith Jr. was on the team and he lost his tooth. I was like, holy shit. And then he came back in the game, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I had this new affinity for this team because they had grit. There was some balls there. So, and then they get Luka, and the trade is like Trae Young for Luka, and it's like people are like, I can't believe they would trade Trae Young. They had Trae Young. He's so good. It's like, dude, but Luka is like this unknown. Like, Tyler Spine in the chat, are you down for a fantasy basketball league? Let's fucking do it. The season's starting in a couple weeks. Like, I know very little about other teams, but I'm only going to draft.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'll draft fucking all my guys. Luka, Kristaps Porzingis.
You're just going to beat, you're the Mavs.
Yeah, I'm going to Dorian Finney-Smith. Everybody is going to be a Dallas Maverick. Like, and I love their jerseys. I love those like City Knights jerseys or whatever that they had. So I'm full on Mavericks fan now. So yeah, when people said like, who's your favorite player in the game right now, it's just Luka, because like if I'm gonna watch a game, that's who I want to see play. And during the postseason, during the playoffs, I really only watched Mavericks games while they were in it, because whether it was the protest or whatever it was, I didn't get to really watch that series between the Trailblazers and the Lakers. I watched some of the other series, but it was just I was focused on Clippers Mavericks. To me, that was like the most fun I was going to have that entire season, because it was like my new team, the Mavericks and Luka against the team that I've always kind of fucking hated, and the Clippers. Like especially since when the Clippers got good, that was when it was really annoying. I used to have a Clippers hoodie because it was like $10 from like Sports Chalet, but like it was super on sale. Like they would have like clearance stuff. Clearance would be like a Laker like Lamar Odom jersey after he got off the team, and then there would be like another rack that was like super clearance, and it was like Clippers shit, like Elton Brand,
active Clippers player.
Yeah, Elton Brand, Corey Maggette, Bryce Drew, like fucking people that you just, who are these guys? And yeah, that would be the super clearance rack. So. Yeah, that's my favorite player right now. But yeah, my favorite of all time is probably still Shaq. Like like I say, if I was gonna build a player to play basketball, that's what I'm building. I'm building one of those. If I was gonna build a football player, probably looks like Jim Brown. Like it's just what you take those pieces. Gump Nasty says Corey Maggette was my guy back at Duke for a year. Corey Maggette had his moments, but the Clippers was not one of them. Sam Cassell, like I hated the fucking Clippers once they got good. Once Chris Paul went there, I was so upset.
See, that's funny. Like you and I have the same reasons for favorite people. We just have different people.
Who's your person right now? You're in Utah, right?
Yeah, I love Donovan Mitchell just because he's a fucking awesome guy. And locally, you see all the dude. Like he just showed up at a 4th of July party because some guy sent him a message on Twitter. But dude, I fucking love Giannis. I love watching Giannis play. He's a physical freak who just yams on everybody. But I would go Bo Jackson in football, man. Come on.
That's true. Well, that hip thing. Come on. What happened with that hip? We need further
You're
analysis.
so strong, you tear your own hip out of the socket.
The hip is no longer part of you anymore. What happened there? Or you know what? This might be hack, but OJ had like the perfect football body too. He kind of looked like Bo Jackson when you watch the highlights. Yeah, it's weird to watch a guy that big be so quick and so like nimble almost. Like, yeah, he was.
That's like, dude, like I want to see Derrick Henry play in person, like on the field, and just see how ridiculous that is.
It's so scary to watch like him play because he is like a man amongst boys. Like it really does. Like when you watch these like corners and safeties trying to tackle him, it's like, wait, how did he get that big? And no one else thought, hey, maybe we should build up some size and fucking look like this guy. Like nobody thought that'd be a good idea.
What's that picture where he's standing next to? Is it Mark Ingram?
Oh yeah, because Ingram's a shorter guy. Yeah, he's standing next to Ingram, and yeah, it's just like this adult, and his nephew went to the game today. So
oh, it's so good. It looks like Ingram standing next to an offensive lineman.
Yeah, well, and that's how he's built. And that's why you wonder why there's not more running backs like that. Like you just assume there would be some more guys like that. So here's what we're going to do, Zach. We are going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to take a piss because I've been drinking so much water and Gatorade and body armor, just getting ready for tonight so I didn't die. And then we will come back. We got a couple red pill things to get to. I do want to talk about my trip to Disney World because I did go to Disney World, so I think that'll be a good time. And then, yeah, that'll be available on the Red Faction. So until then, let's see. Well, what else can we do? What can we play to go to break? Just play whatever we want. Right? Isn't that what we should? Let's just play some instrumental shit before we head to break. But yeah, I think we covered it all right as far as wrestling goes, as far as
yeah, I'm committed. I got to get caught up because I'm actually missing it. I mean, I've been keeping up on all the stories, but dude, I'd love nothing more than just sitting down and watch some fucking wrestling and forgetting about COVID.
And yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. Like today, I wanted to watch it, and I was sitting there watching it. Like, this is fucking awesome. And I want to fall back into the hole as far as watching. I got to watch all the SmackDowns before tomorrow. I can't wait. So I will get there. So we will be right back after this. Don't you guys go anywhere. says this is a long piss. It was a good piss, though. I can't pretend that it wasn't, you know? He's just a hater. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Vleeties. As you can tell, there's been a wardrobe change as far as the overlay. We now have a red overlay because we're in it, my man. Take your red pills, kids. Before we get into that, though, Zach, I went to Orlando, Florida. Have you ever been to Florida?
Funny you ask. I used to go every year or every other year from until I was like 16. My dad's side of the family still lives there, and my grandma on his side is the biggest Disney fan you'll ever meet in your life. Like,
really?
We used to go to Disney World for 2 weeks straight every other year, and on the other years, they would come to California and we'd go to Disneyland for 2 weeks straight.
Well, I have to
and
say,
like,
what are your thoughts, just like to start it off comparison-wise, Disneyland versus Disney World? Because I only went to Magic Kingdom, so I can't speak to like the entire experience. Do you think Florida is still ultimately better? Like, that's what I've been hearing is like there's so much more.
It's fucking retarded. Like, I always tell people, like, Disney World is like 5 Disneylands. Like, you go to the center, and then you can go off to a park that's the size of Disneyland. That's one theme. And then you come back, and then you go to another park that's like the size of Disneyland. And then you come back to the middle.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
It's insane. Yeah, and I went to Magic Kingdom, and first of all, you had to have a reservation to get in. Obviously, we live in COVID times. This is COVID land, and dude, it's so fucking weird. Like the rules were pretty much they went with the Fauci rule. They were just like wear a mask the entire time. That was their big thing, was like wear a mask. They had sanitizing stations everywhere, just like little things of hand sanitizer that were almost always empty. They said because you know what happens, kids walk up and they go and they move their hands, move their hands, move their hands, so they're
fucking
just
dripping everywhere.
yeah, they're just getting ounces of hand sanitizer all over the earth, and
then they're snorting it.
It's so there's got to be videos of that, right? Kids drinking hand sanitizer now, like the Tide Pod challenge. So that was their big thing, was like, we're gonna have hand sanitizer everywhere and you have to wear a mask. The rule that annoyed me the fucking most, and I guess this is probably the best decision they ever made as far as like, how can we prevent people from just walking around without a mask? If you're eating or drinking, you need to be stationary. And like they have voices throughout the park saying that, but I got stopped. I mean, somebody walked over like and said, "Sir, if you're gonna eat, you need to be stationary." Like, and my response was, "What do you mean?" Because I was in a little area. I had a stroller. I was with my family. We were just kind of walking, and I was like, "What do you mean stationary?" And you need to find a space on the sides to go eat. So this creates a new fun problem of, instead of people walking around the park eating, now everybody's like lined up against walls eating. so it sounds like a good idea. Like, hey, you can't just walk around and snack and drink. Like, you got to go to the side. But now I go to the side and take my mask off, and I'm eating with like strangers, and we're all just masked. Yeah. We're all like the maskless cavaliers eating. And instead of us moving around where the virus is less likely to like be stagnant, now we're sitting here talking to each other and sharing the virus with each other. And I thought it was the dumbest, most bizarre rule, because like, and I'm a masker. I agree that you should wear your mask when you're in these huge crowds. If it's the least I can do, I will do it. But when you're telling me like you cannot walk and drink at the same time while you're at fucking Disneyland, it's like, dude, you're really asking people for a lot. And we're all moving over to the sides where we're all still kind of moving and talking with masks off anyway. What is the fucking purpose? Does that sound like something that would work in COVID land?
I always go back to this. It sounded good to the two guys in a fucking boardroom somewhere. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make everybody stop walking and not spread it.
Yeah.
And then the people, every day there's some dude there saying the same exact thing as you. Like, these guys are fucking idiots. They have no clue what they're doing. They're not here. They've never even been here. They're in fucking Chicago somewhere, and they made this shit up.
Well, and I just don't understand where that came from. Where it's like, make sure you add that they're stationary. It's like, wait, why?
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Thank you, Quigley. You're not wrong on that. They are. Another thing they tried to implement at Disney was mobile ordering. Like, you needed to go to this place with a fully charged cell phone. Like that's another huge thing with coronavirus is like, and you've been to restaurants where it's like there's no more menus. You got to take a shot of the QR code and that brings up the menu. Like, it's a good idea in purpose, in theory. So they only have one thing open to actually walk up and order food at. Like, as far as the restaurant we went to the Cosmic Rays Cafe, and because we heard that was the best place to get a burger, which it wasn't. Well, it might have been. It was a shitty burger. It could have been the best burger in the park, but it was a terrible burger. And they wanted
$32.
No, you know what? It actually wasn't unreasonably priced. It was $10 per. You got a burger and like a little thing of fries for $10, and like at Disneyland.
Dude, have you noticed that lately? Like, I feel like I can't go to fast food anymore and like not spend less than $10, like anywhere.
The only way to do it is to value menu it up, and then I've learned to just not even get a drink at these places. Like, although I did feed my family tonight Chick-fil-A, $24 total. We all got drinks. We all got food. Like, Chick-fil-A is pretty good, but yeah, if you're going to places like that, like Five Guys, obviously, like one of those places, like if the entree itself is $10 and that doesn't include drinks or fries, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but I mean that's I'm talking about like McDonald's. Like, you can't go to a Big Mac meal is like $10.
They're going
Why?
up because honestly, that drink, for some reason, a lot of places think they can get away with charging drinks for like $2.50. I'm like, no drink for me. Like, Taco Bell is one of those places where I stopped getting the drink because it was like $1.50 or something, and like it just really gets it over the top. And in McDonald's, I normally do keep it down. Like, I normally will just get like a double quarter pounder. That's like $4.99, but that's all I get is like the one double quarter pounder with mac sauce. So,
Man, you're making me fucking day one of vegan, and I'm fucking hungry.
Dude, how do you not get a double quarter pounder? Like, it's so good. Like, I know that McDonald's, like every time I have McDonald's, I go, McDonald's is on the come up. Like, I feel like I'm always discovering that McDonald's is actually good. Because I feel like when I was younger, I was just getting dollar menu shit. Like, this is whatever. It's like the least good of the food. But once you start getting double quarter pounders with mac sauce, you're like, this place is the fucking best. Why have we been sleeping? But they tried to institute mobile ordering at Disney World, which sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm a millennial. I mobile order all the fucking time. The app that I'm using to mobile order kept crashing, and I was getting fucking furious because I'm at Disney World with my wife's entire like side of the family. You know, she's got 2 brothers and a sister. We brought her sister's boyfriend. I'm with her mom and dad. And it's just fucking, they don't realize that we have a baby, you know? So to them, it's like, we're at Disneyland. We're going to be here.
Let's go.
We're going to be here for 13 hours. Like, that was the original plan, was we were going to be there the entire time. And I was like, I have a baby. And like, that just kept going unsung. And then like, even breakfast, like hotels aren't doing continental breakfast right now. So my son didn't even really eat, you know, like he just like, I'm just like, we need to get him breakfast. Like, you guys remember breakfast? Like, you know, like you have to have like a meal. You can't just have you can't have a hotel muffin the size of a cutie of an orange and think like that's a breakfast. Like, so
he's gonna have an absolute fucking breakdown by 11 o'clock.
That's what was happening. It was like 11 a.m. and my wife and I are like, we need to fucking go get food, not popcorn, not a pretzel. We need to get food for our son. So we went to Cosmic Rays, but I'm trying to order and it's just not fucking working. And thank you so much. What do we got here? Reggie Right Hook. Welcome back, my friend. And yeah, it was it was infuriating trying to order this food because then I try to order it and then I show the lady that it's not working. Like, can I, and you have to like ask permission. Can I go to the window to order? And like the only people that ever got allowed to go up there were riding rascals. Those are the only fucking people that, oh, I don't know how to work a phone. Just let me up the damn ramp, would you? Like, I'm computer illiterate by choice. I don't have a.
That's my mother-in-law. We did that. We were in Park City last weekend because my two brother-in-laws were in town, and we get there and she's like, what if you didn't have a phone? What if you? I'm like, it's 2020. Then don't eat. Get with the times.
You can, and you can get a smartphone through the government now. Like it's at that point where you can say why you don't have one, and they'll get one for you. And everyone needs to have one. But yeah, these people that are just like, and they're rascals, or like these other big families of hillbillies, like these people, like it's all the stereotypical like. I didn't learn how to use a computer when I was fighting wars overseas. It's like, Jesus Christ. I know that you were raised in a swamp here in Florida, but can you please just get a phone so you can do this? And cashless was the other big thing. Like, not every vendor was accepting like paper cash. Like, you had to be. I set up Apple Pay before I left. I was like, Apple Pay for this card, and this card. I'll bring a physical copy of this one card just in case. Like, that was my plan. And so, like, there's several places where they don't accept cash, and there's all these fucking people. Can you break 100? It's like, no, I can't. No. I don't even have $20.
I can't even touch that 100.
Yeah, we're not handling cash right now. You have to go to one of the cash vendors if you're going to be using cash. And like they were even telling people you can go to the front and buy a Disney gift card and use that for your trip at the park. And people didn't like that. People don't trust plastic money. They need it to be paper. That's the only way they'll fucking take it seriously. And yeah.
And the guy accepting cash is in a hazmat suit.
Yeah. He's wearing gloves and shit. And he's dusting everything off. And so, yeah, the mobile ordering was a disaster because it didn't work for me. And then she goes, "Oh, are you connected to the Disney Wi-Fi?" I'm like, "No, of course I'm not connected to the Disney Wi-Fi." Like I should have told her, like, I'm a Trump supporter. I don't trust anyone else's Wi-Fi. I don't log on to any Wi-Fi's anywhere I go. I don't even like that I use Verizon's 4G LTE. Like, I don't like that they know what I'm doing. I use Brave browser because it has its own built-in VPN. And so I hook up to the Disney Wi-Fi, and she's like, "Try it now." And I try it, and it doesn't work. And she's like, And she's like, she calls over someone else to help me use my phone. And I'm just like, "Can I please just go order up there?" And they go, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." And I was like, you made me enter in my order twice. I had to, like, you didn't trust me that I couldn't get it to work. Like, I'm a millennial. I'm basically the only reason iPhones have come along this far. Please just let me go order my food. And like, my wife was able to order food, so like, we think it was just my phone. Like, I had to restart it or something to get it to work, but I was getting so fucking pissed off because everywhere we went, mobile order. And I was like, God, I'm not gonna mobile order everywhere I fucking go. I just want a soda. I'm not gonna mobile order one soda or a Dasani water. I'm not gonna mobile order a $5 Dasani water. Okay.
Now, do they have vending machines?
They did have a couple vending machines, but everything was still mostly vendor based. They just had people there. The waters were actually $3.50, which I was kind of mad at because they have water fountains and they have the autofill water things like at the gym. You put your bottle under and it refills it. They have those, but they're all turned off. To prevent the spread of the virus, we have turned off all these machines. Well, then you need to make it easier for people to get free water because, like, that's the only solution for people that don't want to spend $3.50 on water. They need to be able to use those stations, and they had them all turned off to prevent the spread. So you had to buy a $3.50 water every time. So it was funny. Like, my sister-in-law said her and her boyfriend split one bottle of water while they were there. I must have bought 7. I bought like 7 or 8 waters. Like, if you look at my fucking like transaction history, it's probably all Dasani's, and I bought one Smart Water just because I was like, I need a good water this time. Give me the one with the pH balance.
Give me the good one.
And Ayako says, do they think people suck on the base of the spout on the water fountains? That must be what it is, where they're like, people are touching these things, or breathing all over them. Like people,
I think Rezo does that.
People are exhaling while they're drinking water from a fountain. It's getting everywhere. But all in all, it was a fun trip. I had a really good time. Disney World, we went to Magic Kingdom, so that was kind of like Disneyland. And I was getting annoyed by everyone I was with because they were like, Disneyland is like this, Disneyland is like this, Disneyland's better, this, and this. I was like, we are not at Disneyland. We are at Magic Kingdom. Get it out of your fucking head. That's something that you remember about Disneyland doesn't exist here. We are in Florida. We're in a state where when we leave this place, we're going to spend $1.70 to get gas. All right, in California.
You're about as far away from Disneyland as you can be.
Yeah, we are on the complete opposite coast of Disneyland. And I thought it was awesome. I thought Florida was awesome. I was even telling my wife, I was like, we might have to move here. Like, this place rules. It's like Texas, but with a beach. Because we spent the first 2 days of our trip in Tampa. We were in Tampa.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Sarasota, so close to Tampa, but we were in Sarasota.
That's where my family lives. That's where my dad is from.
I guess Sarasota is like old people. It's like a retirement community or something. Like that's what everyone was saying. Like that's where all the retirees go.
Sarasota. So my grandma owns not a trailer park, but like a old person community.
Yeah.
And dude, my dad grew up there and in Clearwater. He said he used to be at the bar with Hulk Hogan all the time.
Yeah. I see my uncle lives in Clearwater now, and I was gonna try and see him, but we didn't have time. Like we flew into Tampa, but we went directly to Sarasota. So once we were down there, Clearwater was like 90 minutes away. So it was like I don't want to spend 3 hours in the car today. We drove from Sarasota to Orlando. And that was 2 hours.
Yeah, my grandma lives like an hour and a half south of there. Because, dude, no joke, they go constantly. She owns like millions of dollars of Disney stock that she used to started buying in the 80s. And it's just split over time so many times.
Yeah, dude, I enjoyed the ocean though. As far as Gulf of Mexico, water was kind of cold, but it was fun. We just had a kick-ass time, and I was saying, this is like Texas, but with the beach. It might be worth looking into. Like when I turn 65 and I'm like, I'm done with this tornado bullshit. I'm going to go deal with. And by the way, Tampa got hit with the hurricane the day we were there, right? The day we got there. Hurricane Ida or whatever. And it, like on TV, everything looked so bad. But like the next day, it was like nothing happened. Like it's so strange. It's so strange. So I don't mean to belittle hurricanes, but just from my one experience of some trees were thrown around, but everything was fine. Everybody was still, all the little bars by the beach were open the next day. Florida.
Dude, my dad told me they used to, when hurricanes happened when he was younger, they would all go to the bar and board the bar up and like hang out there all fucking night.
That's what I would have done, yeah. And then Tyler Spida, he asked if I went to the Galaxy's Edge. That's only at Disneyland, right? They don't have that. I don't think they have Galaxy's Edge in Florida yet. Like they wanted to make that exclusive to Disneyland, because even when you go to Disneyland before COVID, you had to like make a reservation to go into Galaxy's Edge. So, but this sounds like Sonic Gino's coughing. I didn't get to hear the coughing of Sonic Gino into the microphone.
Is there a color beyond red on the sound bar? Because it went fucking purple.
He was blowing it up, and I've been in those situations where you're playing a video.
See, this is what you do. You do this.
For all the
and then you turn it back on.
For all the podcasters, Zach appropriately hit the mute button and he coughed, and then he unmuted himself after he was done coughing. See, for me, I'm not dealing with mute buttons, so if I cough, I'm letting it all hang out. So, I felt like shit yesterday. Yesterday was the day when it all started. I went to Disney Springs. I was just like, they take your temperature everywhere you go, so I didn't have a fever, but I had body aches. I was just kind of useless. I was walking around like, I'm just tired. I told Linda, I was like, we will buy our shirts online. I'm sorry I can't walk, because in the stores, they have tape on the ground, like, 6 feet apart. And, they have these circles everywhere, like 6 feet apart. And don't breathe on people, which is like, should be an obvious thing. But, and then, I have a son. So, like, my son wants to play with his toys, like, in the fucking middle of the store. And like some people are like walking around like, well, as soon as he's done, I would like to go look at those toys. It's like, oh my gosh, just come and look at the damn toys. You're going to be fine. You're going to survive. So Florida was kick ass. Oh, also my mother-in-law will not be a travel agent anytime soon. The flight from, so yesterday there was a flight from Orlando that would have left at 11:30 and I would have been home in Dallas by 1:30 because it's a short flight. I think it is like 2 hours or 3 hours plus the time change. So it would only been like, a 2 hour difference. So I think it was a 3 hour flight and I would have been home by 1:30. My darling mother-in-law thought it would be fun for all of us to get on the same plane and go, that way we all get to the airport at the same time. We're on the same flight and then we'll just take we'll go our separate ways once we get to the hub airport. Now, DFW is a hub airport. So I was like hoping, oh, cool. And they'll just fly to Dallas with us. We'll go home. They'll get on their next plane. We flew into Charlotte, North Carolina. And so we got a little further from Dallas.
They still live in California?
They do. So so they had themselves a 5.5 hour like across the country flight from Charlotte to California. And I was so upset.
I mean, you're kind of on the way.
That's what I said. I was like, why are we not going to DFW? That's a hub airport. Why are we not just stopping there? So we fly to Charlotte, which is like an hour and 10-minute flight. But then, of course, this always fucking happens to me. At least lately it has. Where the plane lands and then they're like, hey, we're sorry there, folks. There is another plane blocking our gate. As soon as that plane is out of the way, we will go ahead and park this son of a bitch and we'll get you onto your next flight. And so we're like sitting on the runway for like 20 minutes and like, we get the notification that our plane starts boarding our next flight to go to DFW. And we're like, in no offense, and this isn't a hashtag, yes, all women, but why? Why is it always in these moments when my wife, anyone's wife, I really have to pee? It's like we were just on a flight for an hour and 20 minutes where you could have peed at any time. I peed during this time. I was like, it'd be a good time to pee when I'm just sitting here watching Community on my iPad. I'm going to get up and go pee. And so she's like, I really need to pee. And then we also have Ralph. So it's like, and we also need to feed him. So, and I'm not, and then the third thing in all this is I'm not feeling well still. I have a fever probably. I'm sweating. And so it's like, all right, well, our plane's boarding. We got to go. So then the fun thing happens of we all get off this plane and now we're like saying our goodbyes. Like, we got to go. Our plane's boarding. And then like, I'm looking around for my father-in-law. Like, where the fuck is my father-in-law? Because he's like the last person off of the plane. And, and then they're like, we'll walk with you guys. And I'm like, we're running. So, Linda and I, we're each holding one of Ralph's hands and we're like dragging him through the airport. And then eventually she just picks him up and we're like running. And then, they have those little like moving sidewalks where it's like, you're going faster. So we're hopping on that. We're running on those things. And like, because
you're like, that's how they filmed Captain America running so fast in the movie.
Oh, hell yeah. He's on these moving sidewalks for sure. Cause I was on that moving sidewalk and we were booking it. Like, Linda was worried that they weren't gonna go to like where we needed to go. I was like, no, there's a straight line. We're trying to get to because the other issue was we landed in Terminal C and we had to get all the way to Terminal B. So we ran. So we get to the other to our gate and literally on the screen it says, final boarding call. And I'm like, fuck. So she's like, we need to get him food. And I was like, we don't have time. We gotta get on. So we get on to the most empty fucking plane I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I feel like my mother-in-law booked this flight from Charlotte to Dallas special for us because she wanted us to fly with them to Charlotte. And nobody, like, there was maybe, and this was a 747. There were, 30 row. There were probably 35 rows, 6 seats in each row. And they were mostly empty. Like, everyone had their own little 3-seater and they were able to lay out and just hang out. And before the plane took off, I told, Linda got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. But as far as food goes, we didn't have shit. We didn't have anything to give Ralph. So he was like, he did really well, but towards the end, it was just like, gosh, we don't have any fucking dinner for this guy. Like there was no food for him, and they give you little like cookies, like those little Biscoff cookies, but even those were like, come on, he wants some food, and it was just
be like, there's nobody on this flight. We can't get like 5 of these.
well, and then it said final boarding call, so we ran on the plane and we got on, and I was even thinking like, what if I had even said like I should have had you guys like wait at the gate, and I could have just ran and grabbed something really quick. Because there was still, like, even after final boarding call, the doors didn't close for, like, another 15 to 20 minutes. Like, that would have been time for me to run to Burger King to buy a $13 Whopper. Like, there was still time to get that shit done. But, yeah, that was, like, that was the worst part of the trip, at least for me, was, like, because I just hate illogical decisions like that, where it's like, hey, you guys know there's a 2-hour flight that leaves 2 hours earlier. Yeah, but that's not as fun as all of us flying together. So yeah, that sums up my Florida trip. Outstanding time. I love the state of Florida. Definitely going back. Possibly if dreams come true, moving there at some point. Like I've only been there once, but I was telling my wife, I was like, this is perfect. This is like California, but a red state. Like this is just, it was awesome. And I can't imagine it being a blue state. It must be like that southern part, like Miami, like those areas, like down there, I guess, because where I was at was like there was a Trump store. I was like, it was like Trump store. I've been to these, so yeah, it was fascinating. But before we go, go ahead.
You haven't been to Utah yet, so you can't say that yet.
I have been to Utah. I went to Lake Powell though, so I never really like got off the boat.
You hit the fucking corner.
I touched the Utah. Yeah, I touched it.
It's fucking still desert down there. What are you talking about, man?
Hey, I saw it. It was beautiful. I've never traded for anything else, but I should go and see it. I've been to like I haven't been to that many states, but Florida was one that I could finally mark off. And I've been to Utah, but I've never been to like Utah, like Salt Lake City at least. We're slowly marking them off though. We're getting there eventually. I don't know.
Well, now I actually have room if you guys want to come out.
See, now you bought a mansion. Now you got like the Forrest Gump house. So yeah, we can all go out there. We'll have Ty's.
Wait till I show you this fucking couch I bought over the weekend. I'll send you a picture.
We'll have Ty's bachelor party at your house. We'll all just head out there. Take up the Utah place. Well, let's hit a red pill topic before we go, because my throat is falling apart, and Sonic Gino did redeem a video for the afterburn. So, New York City. Well, I guess New York the state, because this is another Cuomo bit. Andrew Cuomo is now saying that we have a 10-person cap on homes on Thanksgiving. Yeah, exactly. I love that these governors, like, this is where they're taking their stand, is like on how many people can. Like, if I'm going to get COVID, I would rather get it from a family member. Am I crazy? Like I would rather get it seeing the people that I love, people that I want to spend time with. Like, if I get COVID on, like, the subway, or if I get it at Disneyland, like, yeah, that's on me. That was a stupid decision that I made. But Thanksgiving, I want to be around these people, and I don't want there to be a 10-person cap. And luckily, let me read this. The Fulton County Sheriff's Department says they will not be enforcing this rule. and I love that, because this is just another example of, like, people in power, and everyone wants to claim that Trump is the fascist. Here we have Cuomo, who's a governor. He's trying to make some rule saying what you can't do in your own home. You can't see a certain amount of family members on a certain day of the year. He's throwing all that out there, and the sheriff's department is going, no, fuck you. We actually enforce these rules that you put out there, and this rule's stupid as fuck. So, I don't know. Like, my Thanksgiving plans just changed today, actually, or yesterday, because my cousin is now not going to be able to come because she's doing a self-quarantine. So it's like, okay, my gathering just got smaller, but if you're in these areas where you haven't seen your family in months, and this was like, oh, we thought we were going to, I have news. I've been seeing my family, like, throughout this whole entire fucking thing. I remember my uncle, I don't need to say his name, but my uncle, one of them, he,
that guy,
his wife, and then his daughter who lives in New York, They all got together a couple months ago, and they were all wearing face shields and masks. And I even my comment on the picture was, looks like a fun fucking party, because it was just, and they're all super liberal, and I'm just like, come on, guys, like, you guys don't need to adhere to these. Like, if you're gonna get it from somebody you love, get it from spending time and living your life. Don't fucking have to wear a face shield in your own living room. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So.
Well, did you see the one I posted today about Pennsylvania governor?
No. What happened to this guy? What happened to the Pennsylvania governor?
They put out stricter guidelines, and they literally put in there, if you have people over and they don't live in your household, you should all wear masks in your house.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, and I did see, like,
and even Broken Freaking Neck was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Broken Freaking Neck is a liberal.
Dude, well, and that's the thing, is I think, like, my brother is liberal, and he's even, like, he hates the mask. He's worse than me. He's like the guy at the apartment complex where, like, everybody's supposed to wear a mask while they're walking their dog in the apartment complex. And my brother never does it. He's like, no, we don't do that shit. Like, he'll go to the apartment basketball court and shoot hoops, and, like, he doesn't have a mask for when he leaves. Like, some people just don't, like, it. You think the way the media portrays it is like a red and blue thing. Like, I'm more of a masker than my wife, and I'm more of a masker than my brother. But, like, if I'm in my own home, the mask is off. I don't give a fuck. And also, like, I'm still a little weary of asymptomatic carriers. Like, I hate to be this person. I just don't know what that means or believe it. Like,
it's real.
But we're all in the same room. We all feel fine. One of us could have this disease and not even fucking know it. Like, I don't know. It just seems like such a fucking awesome movie. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems so improbable.
There's, like, so many things. So, like, you have the Elon story where he got tested 4 times in one day and had 2 positives and 2 negatives.
And that was also one of my topics, because I think that's fucking up the numbers a little bit, if I can be honest. Because does the CDC know, like, hey, some of these positive results are the same person?
Yeah, I mean, and my wife does those tests. They're only, like, I heard 80% accurate, but his results are 50-50. So, and I don't know which way does it go. Do you get more false negatives or false positives? Because I don't know why people are getting tested if they're not sick. But
right.
This last week, man, I had 2 of my guys out, like, had it. They're young, they're fine, but they're like, one just had a headache and was tired. The other one just had body aches. They didn't have a cough. They didn't have anything. And then another dude, straight up asymptomatic. I don't even know why he got tested, but he just came in with the positive test. He's like, they told me to take 2 weeks off. Oh, fucking great. So this last 2 weeks, I've been like 40% down on labor. I was out shoveling fucking salt one day.
I just don't know. Like, as far as, like, it just seems so gimmicky to me. Like, asymptomatic, where you can test positive for this thing. You have no symptoms. Allegedly, you can spread it by exhaling. Like, I don't get how that would even exist or work. And then you can be asymptomatic one time when you have it, but then the next time you have it, you have symptoms. Like, I don't know. Like, I hate to be that person. I'm not the lead scientist on infectious diseases, but to me,
well, the same thing. Like, I told you the story probably 3 weeks ago now. All my wife does now is swab people all day.
Yeah.
So she was swabbing a guy, tested positive. He coughed directly into her face. She was wearing a mask and nothing else, wasn't wearing a face shield. She was fine, didn't get it. These guys at my work that were positive, like, they were feeling sick for a few days before they even said anything.
Yeah.
I've been around these guys. I talked to them face to face with masks on. Everybody's totally fine. Nobody else. The only reason they both got it is because they live together. They're brothers.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody else at my work got it. Like, we all wear masks. We sanitize here and there. But, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
Well, and I've been going to Anytime Fitness, and Anytime Fitness has, if you're within 6 feet of somebody, you have to be wearing your mask. And even I saw I was there like in the middle of the day the other day, and the lady working had like this fucking sprayer, and she was like pumping this thing and like spraying all the equipment and spraying the whole place, and you know, it was some sort of disinfectant. But I just thought like, wow, like that's some heavy duty fucking equipment that this, you know, this gym employee suddenly needs to know how to operate and work. And
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm fine with the rules. Like, I'm even the person where I'm wearing the mask most of the time I'm at the gym. Like, there's never, even if I have space in between me and the next person, I just have my mask on. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, some people say, like, I have trouble breathing with it on. It's like, well, then that's you. That's a you thing. You like my mask is great. You know, like my mask, I don't even know if my mask is on sometimes. Like, I'm turning into that guy where I walk into like my mom's house with my mask on. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I put it on. I put it on a habit now. Like, I'm that evolved. I've complied that much with the system.
I saw a meme. I forgot. It was like some dude. He was like total typical. Oh, they're just making us wear a mask as a part of oppression, or some shit like that. And this person responded, and he's like, "Okay, you have a social security card. You have a numbered ID from the government.
Right.
You pay taxes. They know everything about your life, and you think they're trying to control you by making you wear a mask?"
Dude, I'm one of those people who, like, someone said that one time, like, so you think that the government is making up a disease to get you to go buy toilet paper, this. Do you really think that's what the government's doing? And my response was, yes. Like, and this was back before I got super woke, but it was like, I just thought, like, the government can make people do whatever they fucking want. Like, it isn't a matter of how important the thing is. If they want you to buy all the toilet paper and stay home, they're going to make you do that. If they want you to fight in the grocery store over that, they're going to make you do that. I mean, there was a great video I think we watched on here where people were fighting over Mountain Dew. Like, shit, they will make you fight.
I need my Dew.
Like, there was one where they were limiting people, like, you can only buy 2 cases of water or 2 cases of soda. And the guy was like, I buy 5 24-packs of Mountain Dew every damn week. And they won't let me buy my Mountain Dew. I had to come back in like 3 hours later and buy 2 more. Like, you know, like that was there's ways around it. How are we gonna do this? So your communist America wasn't working as far as rationing goes. People were still going and buying more toilet paper after they were denied. That's
the problem is they got all these anti-gouging laws. That's not capitalist, man. You got if the grocery store is charging $80 for a pack of toilet paper, people aren't gonna fucking buy 18 of them.
Well, and that's the thing is, they don't let people raise the prices like that. But it's also, if they were doing that, and I was looking at $80 toilet paper, I still wouldn't buy it. I would be the guy, like, I would be, well, what did we do before toilet paper? Like, I'm not above wiping my hand with my ass, or wiping my ass with my hand and just rinsing it off between wipes, or maybe invest in some sort of a bidet. That might be the new thing to do. But
oh yeah,
Georgia finds more Trump votes. Did you hear about the story where they found like thousands of more Trump votes? Like, this is the second county in Georgia that has found a memory card with thousands of votes that have been uploaded into the system used in the state. The majority of votes were for Donald Trump. Like, they found like another like 6,000 Trump votes. Isn't this like such... The fact that this is happening, and the fact that people are already celebrating Biden winning and not like concerned about this, like, it's astonishing to me, because like, I just don't get how there's so much evidence now of, like, Daily Beast reporter Sam Brody wrote on Twitter that Georgia election says the ongoing election audit confirmed 2,755 previously uncounted votes in Fayette County, 1,577 for Trump, 1,128 for Biden. Biden's statewide advantage is now down to 12,929. Like, these votes that are just showing up still were weeks removed from the election. Like, Trump is winning counties now, like, that he was losing, because we're just finding more votes for this. How the fuck is this happening? How are we still finding votes? Why are we finding votes? Like, how does that even make sense? Hey, I found votes. Like, this really just shows, like, this whole voting by mail was the most ridiculous thing I've ever, like, it just clearly failed, and we're unwilling to admit it.
Well, I'm down to the point where I'm burnt out, but I still listen to Bongino every day.
Yeah.
Have you listened to him the last, I don't know, half week?
I haven't listened to him in a few days. I remember he was still going for it, saying how he was calling me out. He was like, if you're weak, we don't need you.
We don't need you.
If you already think that Joe Biden's the president, we're done with you. And we're going to remember that. And I was like, and I even, and I was even like, look, the only reason I think Joe Biden won is because I've been told Hillary's going to go to prison. I've been told that Epstein's got this list and all these people are going to jail. Like, I'm a Trump person. I'm a Republican, but I'm at the point now where I see so many fucking promises that just don't live up to anything. And it's like, at least Barack Obama promised a college football playoff and he delivered. I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for all this shit to pan out and to turn into something that I need.
Yeah, so he now is all over this Dominion voting software, which is used in 28 states, including Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, all the ones that are in the news.
Trump tweeted about that today or something, where he was saying like Dominion software, like some election thing in Canada says that they do not use Dominion software because it didn't qualify to their standards. So Trump, Trump tweeted that, like, look, these guys don't use this shit either.
That's why Texas doesn't use it. That's one of the things they're using. Is there's a court case from like last year, and it's just cybersecurity experts and other people saying like we cannot use this shit. And so it's to where, I mean, there's some arguments that are stupid. Like he keeps talking about, they can open the machine if there's a paper jam. I guess they're supposed to be like sealed, the scanner machine sealed so you can't fuck with it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if there's a paper jam, what the fuck are you going to do? But I guess it's like you said, that just memory cards. Oh, we got votes on there. Oh, I can click and highlight all these votes and drag them to a folder and delete them if I want to.
Well, and gosh, and yeah, like, of course, I love when you Google like Dominion voting, you get mixed, like, even news results where like New York Times says no, Dominion voting machines did not cause widespread voting problems, and then the next story is like Trump lawyers says that the CIA director should be fired for ignoring the warnings about the Dominion voting system. Like, there's just nobody knows where to get news from anymore, and that's the other thing is like I'm waiting for fucking just somebody needs to get arrested. Something needs to be public that nobody can dispute. Like we need like a viral video of like Joe Biden and Hillary getting arrested for what they did. Like we need something like that, because even with like the Russia hoax with Trump, where everyone's like Russia hacked the election, Trump's gonna go to prison for all this, none of that happened. But if there was a viral video of Trump doing something, like there would be no way to dispute it, then boom, suddenly we can't talk anymore. And that's what's so frustrating.
We need a Ray Rice video.
We need a Ray Rice video of Joe Biden collecting money from China, collecting money from Ukraine. Like we just need, we need like undisputable, factual, visual evidence, because all this shit is so ridiculous. Like the New York Times, who people just listen to explicitly, no matter how many journalists have been fired from there in the past 5 years for reporting stories with no sources. Like, not even, the new obligatory thing is to say, we have an anonymous source that says this. Like, they've fired people that have not had anonymous sources. They just posted a story because they're like, well, no, this is, they're presenting opinion pieces as fact. And they've been fired by the New York Times themselves. So CNN's done the same thing. They've fired three journalists within this year. Like, they're just the news is no longer news as far as fresh, unbiased information. It is all like, okay, what storyline are we trying to tell? Like, even if you work at CNN and you're like, wow, Trump did a really good thing, you need to somehow spin it to say like, Trump didn't actually lower the cost of diabetes medication. Here's what you need to know. Like they'll give you their opinion and twist it to where even if they say, so Trump did lower it, but was it actually Trump? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they try and spin it in their way. So that's what I fucking hate right now is, like, as a Republican, all the media that I listen to and all the signs that I see show there's been voter fraud, show that there's been, show that the Democrats are actually the ones, or at least Joe Biden is the one who actually is dealing with the Ukraine, actually dealing with China. Hunter Biden was given this position just based on his dad's name, and there's probably tons of blackmail information that these other countries now have on the leader of the United States, President-elect Joe Biden. And I see all that stuff, but meanwhile, people see like Trump is embedded with Russia. They see that Republicans are bad, and it's just astonishing to me. Like, I mean, we're at the point now where I think even Catholic bishops are starting to support Joe Biden. Like, oh, he's nice. It's like, dude, he's for late-term abortion. He's for so many things that are against the church. How can you then back this guy? So that's why I've been trying to see it from both sides. That's why I like Bongino when he's like, we don't need you. You're weak. It's like, look, you tell me all these things that are going to happen. We got the receipts. Like, I listened to that episode. That was the episode where I told not John Cena. I was even listening, like, that was the one where Bongino won me over. It was when he was like, we got the receipts. And he actually brought the receipts up on the screen. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, we got the receipts. But it never pans out the way that I'm being promised by Bongino or even Shapiro.
Yeah, and I'm at the same point. Like, I fully understand Bongino is and he says it too. He says he's not a journalist. He's an opinion guy.
Right.
But he uses facts and he quotes articles and court cases and shit. So it's not just straight up lies. I think Shapiro's a little better at being a reporter, but we've talked about him. Like, I mean, he doesn't want to be. I mean, he's an opinion guy too. But like, when he makes fun of Kamala, it's like, I laugh at it and it's funny, but you obviously have an opinion on this. Like, it's not some unbiased opinion.
Well, and then he'll even do things like the thing that annoys me is, like I said, what did I bring up? Like 2,600 votes have been discovered. He would say, like, instead of saying 2,600, he would go, millions of votes have been discovered, or he would say like 100,000. He would like make something up to like just be dramatic. And it's like, I get what you're trying to do, but those are the headlines that Democrats will pull and then say Ben Shapiro said this. It's like, well, you did say that. Like, you need to be very deliberate when you're dealing with this, because like, I can say dumb shit like that because I'm on a Twitch stream, like, and I'm just me. Like, you're Ben Shapiro. You're making people, you're considered the largest, fastest growing news whatever in the nation. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Now, I am excited. Candace joining.
Her show's going to be there on the beginning of the year, I think, is when they said it was going to go down. I know that I think she's about to have her baby. She was making some headlines about Harry Styles wearing a dress, which we will talk about on Thursday. We were going to get to it tonight, but we're running up against it here. One last thing before we watch the Sonic Gino video is two people, including a former mayoral candidate, have been charged in a voter fraud case where more than 8,000 fraudulent voter registration applications were submitted on behalf of homeless people. So
that's the new one, huh?
In Los Angeles, between July and October, a 53-year-old Carlos Antonio de Bourbon, a.k.a. Mark Anthony Gonzalez, he submitted more than 8,000 fraudulent voter registration applications, falsifying names and addresses and signatures on nomination papers under penalty of perjury to run for mayor in Hawthorne. So they were trying to get to the registrar's office to send them mail-in ballots to the fake voters. No votes were ever actually casted. The registrar caught on quickly and flagged the application, so nobody actually voted. So now he's facing 18 felony counts of voter fraud, 11 counts of procuring a false and forged instrument, 2 felony counts of perjury, 1 felony count of conspiracy to commit voter fraud. Like, just there, a lot of fucking voter fraud. But again, this is just another example of when people are saying there's no evidence of voter fraud. This guy's facing up to 16 years in jail because of voter fraud. So I just that had to be shown to everybody, because I'm just always shocked when people are trying to like claim there's no voter fraud. There's absolutely no voter fraud. Trump is a monster for even suggesting that there is some. Here's more of it for you guys. This is in California too, where everybody just assumes that everybody's voting blue. But when you look, I think there's more counties actually now. It looks like there's more red counties in California. It's just that there's more people in those blue counties that are going to make it blue. Like, it's just the way it's going to go. But honestly, it could happen one day. I'm starting to see, after this red wave, because everybody was talking about how, and I will call it a red wave, because every fucking pollster said that Joe Biden was going to smash Trump. And they were all wrong.
We were going to lose Congress. And
yeah, we didn't lose Congress. They said 27 seats were in play. Republicans won all 27 of those seats. Like, there's just so many, like, I don't get it. I don't get how people can trust these pollsters, these news sites anymore when that kind of shit happens.
That's the other one Bongino keeps bringing up, is the down ballot voting.
Right. Nobody went down.
So, yeah, Republicans won all these Senate races, but then Joe Biden won the presidential race in the same state,
and by a lot. And you know, when he has the most votes in presidential history, like, you're gonna tell me that
ever
Joe Biden is the most popular,
Sleepy Joe,
the most popular president ever is Joe Biden, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Because yeah, if there was this blue wave, they would have took all those seats. Whatever. I'm sure the YouTube crowd is like, look, Joe Biden's your president, and you know what? He might be. And if he is, I don't think he's going to be as bad as everyone's telling me. I think he's going to be a boring, safe guy who hopefully is bent on uniting the country. However, it would be nice if he would come out and say, hey, if there's a Trump rally, don't go fuck with those people. Don't go fight. Don't go push old ladies. Like, if anyone's seen all the footage, it's so ridiculous. It's so sickening. And there's just no point to it. So before we ride off into the sunset, Sonic Gino did redeem a video commentary, how it's actually made. Our good friend, I think this is Corpse who does these videos. I don't remember. I don't know all the internet lingo. It's definitely Hugbees is one of the names he goes by. So Hugbees is going to tell us how Jawbreakers are made. America's favorite candy. Let's take a look.
Jawbreakers, also known as gobstoppers, have been enjoyed by the sweet-toothed among us for decades. You pop one in and slowly suck or chew through 10 colorful layers of flavor. Sometimes there's even bubblegum in the middle for an even longer lasting finish.
Is that true? Has there ever been bubblegum in the middle?
Do not adjust your television. What you're seeing isn't undiscovered planets, but in fact, jawbreakers. To make their bubblegum centers, a worker blends synthetic rubber with powdered resin, which will dissolve the rubber. He adds a thickener, a preservative, and an oil called sono un stronza, so the candy won't stick to your teeth. After mixing and steaming at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, the melted rubber pours into trays to cool. Sugar, coloring, and narcotics would be destroyed by the intense heat, so they're added to the batch later. This base serves a dual purpose for candy factories, as it can be easily substituted for peanut butter fudge, should peanut butter supplies run low. Sometimes, when the batter hardens, animals or small children may be trapped inside.
What the fuck?
This is how the factory gets them out.
What?
If the batter is child-free, it is chopped up and blended with corn syrup to make it sweeter.
Wait, why do they solidify it if they're just going to mash it all up again?
This mixture is as appetizing as it looks. Once the flavorful food pellets are added, its taste could rival a 5-star meal. Now, cow urine is added to the batch. The salts and proteins contained within add a strong combination of natural and artificial flavors.
Natural and artificial.
Powder is also added to the batch in massive quantities.
Why?
The batter is dumped into an extruder, which poops it out into a long, thick log. We're sorry for our use of the word poop here, but it is the official term for this process. This process is also usually done in bulk, such as these 6 simultaneous poops, which are referred to as a diarrhea of jawbreakers. The next machine slices the tubes into segments.
Turn into a
There is no
jawbreaker?
funny name for this process. If you would like there to be one, please petition your local congressman. A mechanical arm pushes the segments into a forming machine, where steel blades shape them into balls.
Okay, so now we're getting a shape at least.
The same technology is found on a larger scale in bowling alleys.
I don't think he's
It's a
wrong on that,
little
by the
known
way.
fact that bowling balls are, in fact, extra large jawbreakers. After a ride in the Infinity Dryer, the jawbreakers once again land in a forming machine, which sends them off to another factory to be painted with the winning lottery numbers.
And you
Other
know,
jawbreakers, like people, have hard centers. The machine that makes them presses candy powder into solid candy balls at incredibly high pressure, similar to how pills are made by pharmaceutical companies. This is where the previously mentioned narcotics sometimes slip into the batch, but never at a level above FDA standards. As for the rest of the jawbreaker, the candy centers are slam dunked into a coating pan.
slam dunked.
They rotate around as they're covered in cow blood for flavor, because the factory doesn't like to waste any parts of the animal.
What?
Powder is once again added, in a more sensible amount this time.
Put a lot of fucking powder in these things.
The factory repeats this step for up to 10 times for each layer.
What's that guy's job?
Making
What's
a
his title?
jawbreaker can take up to 69 hours. Nice.
69.
The factory also allows Jackson Pollock to make jawbreakers.
Oh yeah, what's that about? Why do they all have that weird ass like kind of design?
And of course, more powder is added.
Because they got lazy. They're just fucking
Hey, what's the powder?
throwing that shit
What's
out.
the powder made of? Oh, it's just powder? Okay, it's just powder, guys.
It's legit just powder, so they don't stick together. They look bomb as fuck. I gotta give it to
And
them.
finally, when you bisect a jawbreaker, you can see a good view of your mother before
I've
and
never had one
after
in my
my
life.
night with her.
You've never had a jawbreaker?
No.
Why are they called jawbreakers? And you'd think like as a candy, that's probably the worst name to like name something is like something that can damage your teeth or something that can break your jaw. The jaw's a fragile bone, dude. Let's see. I think it's about time. I think we did it. I think it is time to ride off into that glorious sunset. My throat is killing me. I got to wake up early for work in the morning. So I think that we just about did it. So I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out. It was a good time tonight. I will be back tomorrow for the whole fucking show. I didn't watch Dynamite last week, so I need to watch Dynamite so I can see the amazing Cody Rhodes segment. It sounds like everybody's been loving that. Zach, you don't watch AEW, right? You're not one of these people yet, right?
One of those. I don't hang out with those people.
Like, I want to be an AEW. Like, I'm so done with AEW. Like, even with Kenny Omega, like now being a main eventer again, I'm just so fucking done. Like, I like NXT. I think NXT's better. I really do. I think it's more fun, and I take it less seriously than like AEW has all these high expectations for me. Like, it should be this amazing show that like everybody like loves. And whenever they let me down, I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm like, it just bugs me. There's no reason why that show should be bad. Like, it should be really good. So I don't know. It's nitpicky, but yeah, I'm gonna try and watch that because I gotta watch AEW live with Kevin tomorrow night, and then Thursday night, Zach and I will be back. But Zach, you're about to play Among Us right now on your Twitch channel, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hop off and play some Among Us, bro.
You play some Among Us. I will wrap this up, and we will ride off into that glorious, glorious sunset. Thank you so much, Zach. You enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
Later, boys.
That is Zach Geezy. Please, 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 please watch him on Twitch. Immediately following me tonight, we will hang out until we are able to raid him. That's always the safe way to do it. My name is Ryan Van Vliet. Until the day that I'm dead. Once again, thank you so much for coming in. Make sure Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you guys are subscribed. Leave some reviews for me there. Twitch content. I got a free weekend. We're going to be recording some shit for you guys. It's going to be awesome. Cast from the Past, The View. trying to reformat the shows a little bit because I understand that wrestling is what's getting more of the clicks for me. So we're going to try and bring a more wrestling-centric product your way. But that doesn't mean we're going to lose the red faction or lose the red topics. We might just split them off. Oh, yeah, stop calling him Zach. It's Geezy, damn it. Make sure you call him Geezy. So once again, thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out. Let's wait for Geezy. Let's wait for Geezy. We'll rate him in just a second. Thank you guys so much. We got a new follower. Right as we're leaving. Thank you guys so much.
The real fabulous 本当の悲しみが知りたいだけ泥の代わり使った人生も悪くはない一度きりで終わるなら
Motherfucker, leave Bambino's cat alone. You hear me? I know where you've been.
But like a lot of people.
Gonna help you if you ain't quick. I go hard. Go hard. I go hard.
Thank you for downloading Vleeties right here on Apple Podcast or Spotify. I really appreciate you being a subscriber to the audio on demand version. Make sure that you are also subscribed on twitch.tv/realvleeties. There's going to be more exclusive content going up there this weekend. We build towards Survivor Series. That'll be this Sunday. Make sure that you're following twitch.tv/TWFS for Wednesday night's coverage of All Elite Wrestling's Dynamite. And then, of course, the post-show for SmackDown, SmackDown's third hour. That'll be the final show before we go into Survivor Series. So there will be exclusive content from me this weekend. You'll have Kevin on Wednesday and Friday. I'll be there with Kevin on Wednesday. And then me and Zach return Thursday. Thank you guys so much for being a member, being a family member of this great TWFS universe. I really do appreciate it and enjoy the show.
What's going on, Nathan? What's up, bro?
We some southern boys with the farmer strength. Ain't
Let's see who's
nobody
on
man
here.
enough to feel the pain.
Dark Moon 91. You gonna play, bro? Are you gonna follow? How about that? I don't think you follow me. I haven't seen you, Dark Moon. Fire Fist Ace. You gotta play, bro. Here, are you gonna play? I see you, Ayako. Why aren't you playing, Ayako? Okay, Hero. Ain't nobody breaking this redneck. Ayako, I work also. Just not in the middle of the night. Sorry.
Oh, weird. Thank you for downloading Vleeties right here on Apple Podcast or Spotify. I really appreciate you being a subscriber to the audio on demand version. Make sure that you are also subscribed on twitch.tv/realvleeties. There's going to be more exclusive content going up there. This weekend,
Like, broke down crying. Was like, I don't know what's going on in the world. Like, Drew's too much of a good guy, and Randy,
and yeah, he's still around.
I mean, Gronk was Gronk.
Is Sheamus a face? It's because of who they are on television. Like Jordan Grace, maybe to a lesser extent because she's on Impact. It's not really like as big as WWE, but she's still only Jordan Grace because, I mean, her real name's Patricia something. To make on Twitch one night and drops the N-word like Randy Orton, suddenly it's regular sick. You kind of are afraid or ashamed to tell people sick the show.